Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out another box from the folks over at Comic Bento. Comic Bento is a box of comics at your door every single month. That's what the front of the box says. You'll probably notice that I added single. The correct per verbatim is a box of comics at your door every month. Sans le single. But you kind of get the idea. Might I also add, this is a really heavy box. I can't imagine what's all in here, but I will know probably in about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes from the time that I'm talking right now. It could be about 25 to 30 minutes if I really drag out and talk about other stuff, but we're going to stick to it. Let's get the Comic Bento opened up. Might I also add too, and this is where I drag this out, might I also add too, if you're a fan of comics and want to have something like this delivered to your house every single month, I'll put the link down below to Comic Bento. You can subscribe, and you can be as joyous as this guy is, this guy being me, as next month's box comes right to your door. Sounds good? Sounds good. Here's the box, by the way. A nice good glance at the box. Let's get this cut open via my knife red. Old Red, to be exact. And no, I didn't just throw in Old Red. That's actually part of her name. If you were to check out her ID, she doesn't drive, mind you, because I don't know, police seem to be upset with the idea of a knife driving a car. But if you check out her, like, membership for, like, the library and stuff, it actually says Old Red. People generally say, do I call you old? Do I call you red? She would say, I prefer you not calling me old because it makes me feel old. But yeah, but that's your first name. You can see the conflict that goes on here. Everything seems to be kind of wrapped up here, which is nice care to packaging. I'm not going to disrupt that by damaging the actual comics inside. That would be horrible if I did that. But we're going to open this up. I'm just going to put that to the side because we don't need that anymore. Anything else in the box? Nothing else in the box. All right, so let's see what we've got first. First things first. We have Aspen Comics. This is Damsels in Excess. I actually had a tough time reading that font. It's the complete first volume. It's also, oh, I got another comic in there too. It's a Comic Bento exclusive, I guess being the cover-wise. Let's have a flip through of the artwork. I don't like so much the artwork on the front, but I have to admit that the artwork in the inside looks pretty good. And Volume 1, written by Vince Hernandez, penciled by Mirka Adolfo, inked by Simone Di Mio. It's colored by and lettered by as well. Okay, yeah, artwork's pretty good. So I'm guessing, without reading this yet, I'm assuming they're princesses or, I don't know, I'm assuming princesses or some sort of hierarchy females that band together and fight evil. That's probably not correct, but this is basically my initial feelings flipping through this comic, which again, I might add, has really good artwork. Am I the only one? I'm going to pose this question to you, the viewers down below. Not that you live down below, but that's basically where we communicate. I'm going to pose this down to you below. You can let me know. Does a comic make or break it for you based on the artwork? Let me describe that a little bit more, that question. For example, if you like Batman, would you be more interested in the story if the artwork was good? Or if the artwork, it was still like a terrible, terrible artwork, and it looks like it was drawn with somebody with their eyes closed? Could you be invested in the comic itself? This comic, this volume collection, for example, has really decent artwork, so I would be more inclined to kind of flip through it and want to see everything that's going on. While there's other comics I've been interested in, but the artwork has really turned me right off. Let me know down below. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Moving on, we have Marvel's Champions, because the world still needs heroes. And Marvel needs more books like this one. Down below, Change the World. Let's flip through that, for example. And again, a nice, thick, meaty book that you can sit down on a hot summer's day. Speaking of artwork, nice artwork here. I love the artwork style. Who's drawing this? Let's have a look here. Up to the first. Penciler is Humberto Ramos. You can tell I'm really good at pronouncing names at times, so I do apologize to Humberto if he is actually watching this video. By the way, hi. He's probably not watching this video. But I have to say, though, artwork's pretty good. Especially liking the way that they've drawn the characters here. Really nicely done. Let's flip through this. Now, again, this would be a great example. May not be interested in the story necessarily, not just yet, though. But the artwork, like this artwork here, for example, pulls me right in. This is something where I'm thinking, yeah, I want to watch more and read more about this stuff. This looks really interesting, especially like the look of that clown. I want to read all about it, which actually was a TVO show back in Canada, back in the 80s. Read all about it. Artwork's good, pulls me in, thinking I might want to read this. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to give that a read. Moving along, we have the LA Banks Vampire Huntress. This is from Dynamite. The H kind of looks like an N. I feel like I want to say Vampire Nuntress. Because, I mean, it actually doesn't look that much different. A little bit different than the N there, but it's Volume 1, Dawn and Darkness. And again, let's flip through it. We may potentially have an entire video where all the artwork is really good. Now, this artwork I really like. And you know what I like so much about it? Is it reminds me of like the old 90s comics. It reminds me of like reading the old, trying to think of like Danger Girls. And like, for example, trying to think of even like the old McFarlane stuff. It's kind of the vibes I'm getting here. Again, good artwork. Pulls me right in. I want to read more about this. Especially when we have this interesting character with that gremlin little character. Interested. Another interesting book. So I will give that a read. Does it give you a price value? Just so that you guys understand the value of the Comic Bento box versus the stuff inside. You're looking at $16.99 US. So Canada, what would that be? Canada would be about $22 or so. Right here we've got $20.99 for Canada, $15.99 US. And this one here is $14.99 US. So $15. Let's go by US amounts because they're all showing $15. This one here is $16. So that's, what, $31. And then this one here is $31, and that's $48, give or take US. So, not bad at all. And then lastly, from American McGee and Spicy Horse Games, creators of Alice Madness Returns, comes Akinero. The Path of Cloak and Wolf by Justin Acklin and Vasilis Lolas. Very different format presentation because you've got like more of a hardbound book. The book itself, and this is a really bad comparison, but the book itself kind of reminds me of the way that the old Dr. Seuss books were bound. You've got that really thick kind of feeling card, and then you've got the spine. I know everybody would say, well, that's basically how a book works. A front and a spine. Hopefully you know what I mean. Let's flip inside and see what we got for artwork. Let's see if we're 4 for 4. And again, just because the artwork, now see, for example, the story actions and the characters, like that looks like a really neat character. But I don't know if I would say that the artwork captures me as much. The actual human characters don't excite me as much as these weird, outlandish creatures that are making up the pages here. I may read this more so to find out. I want to read more about the stories of the aliens and these little creature monsters. But the artwork on the characters themselves, not feeling it as much. Still drawing me in because I want to see more about. I want to see more about like this creepy looking guy here, who's also right there. And this one here, by the way, is $15. So you're getting about $50 worth of comics here. And they're really not so much comics as they are collections and volumes. So you're getting not just thin single issue comics, you're getting like full, like I don't know if this may be one comic, but like some of these other ones here are collections, like volume 1, for example. The one I think I'm interested in the most, though, is reading all about Champions. Specifically, because the artwork looks really good on it. So there's your question, guys. Let me know down below. For example, are you one that if the artwork's poor in a comic, would you still want to read it? Or are you really not one for artwork as much as you are story? If the story's good, doesn't really matter how good the artwork is. In the meantime, though, let's revisit what we got all inside Comic Bento for this month. Damsels in Excess by Aspen Comics. We got Marvel's Champions. We got Dynamite Comics' Vampire Huntress. And lastly, we also had Dark Horse Comics' Acanero. It's one of those. This might not even be that at all. But interesting reads. Something I could sit down. It's kind of like a nice hot summer day nowadays, at least till the summer season ends, so I can sit outside, tall glass of lemonade, and read some new comic material. Speaking of new comic material, that's a great segue. If you guys are interested in getting new comic material delivered right to your house every single month, Comic Bento is the box for you. I'll put the link down below, as every box of comics, every box contains comics, and a box of comics at your door every single month. That's what it said right down there. I said initially single. I know single's not really there. It's a box of comics at your door every month. Wanted to throw single in there again. If you guys like this video, always appreciate you hit it with a like. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that little subscribe button down below. And if you're a fan of Comic Bento, might I also recommend that you go back and check out the playlist where I've done all the older Comic Bento videos. So you want to see what I've gotten in previous boxes? Don't blame you. You can go back and check out those older videos and see everything that I got in previous Comic Bento boxes. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.